So the police have their own child trafficking ring, as in, no, they don't stop it. They have their own, just like the Boy Scouts and the Catholic Church.
The Louisville Police and the County Attorney's Office hid at least 738,000 records documenting sexual abuse of Explorer Scouts by 2 police officers, and then they lied to keep the files from the public. Attorneys have reached a settlement worth more than $3.5 million for 7 victims of the LMPD Explorer sex abuse scandal. An attorney representing those victims says that their names will stay confidential as part of the agreement, which will bring an end to the federal lawsuit. 3 former officers have already been convicted of sexual offenses after luring minors to have sex.
Recruiter for the St. Louis County Police Explorers Program pleads guilty to sexual misconduct.
I could blow through all 10 minutes just giving you news clips, but then you wouldn't hear me talk, which may or may not be a good thing. But it just fucking blows my mind that there is a police youth program that is persistently creating victims of kids being trafficked by adult cops, and we're just all treating it like it's a one-off. Like, it doesn't matter if it's in Louisiana or LA. It's just like, oh, it's just one random instant. The whole program isn't like that, right? Just understanding probabilities and drawing correlations between the Catholic Church and the Boy Scouts, only 1 in 3 of those kid victims ever came out, and none of them came out before the age of 30. So imagine Sandra Birchmore happening in October among 2 other kids in Florida and DC. Like, do you know how many more kids are probably being circulated in this program that aren't saying anything? And by the way, fuck the Stoughton Police Department. Sandra did not unalive herself, and the police were the last person to visit her apartment. Like, it's just so fucking frustrating when the cops are treating all these hundreds of kid victims as like one-offs in specific departments, and it's just like, oh, an isolated instant, while at the same time quietly changing the policies to where, like, okay, now cops can't be left alone with a kid on a ride-along, and there has to be paired up with a different other cop. Oh, and there has to be like a female cop sometimes, like, to be like in certain situations. Like, you change the policies, recognizing that it's a systemic problem, while quietly trying to pretend like, oh yeah, it's just a couple bad apples, when it's not.